I'm at 8105 Vegas Circle in Westchester, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, room intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. The access point is a clean out and stack. I'll kind of show you around to get the area. That right there is the door that comes out right at the bottom of the steps in the basement. There's the other half of the basement. There's another stack just over there behind the steps. And we're going from this one because it is the furthest to the rear and the most upstream, presumably. So this should be PVC all the way out to the main, based off the age of the house. It may switch over to a green PVC, which is SDR, probably SDR 35 is the normal pipe. And the interior stuff, this white stuff, is schedule 40. So this stuff right here, it does look like construction material. Maybe it is and we'll take a look at that maybe on the way back. Since we're out 18 feet. Now, just to note, the measurements are by the rotation of the drum that the camera is in. It's attached to a long kind of a stick that you push down through there, and so it's not most accurate. If we need to locate it, we can locate the exact location with a transmitter that is behind the camera. But in this case, I just want to note that it's 18 feet on the video, so we know when we come back. But it looked like that was some construction material. We're going to look to see if they have done any work upstairs, maybe in a second floor bathroom or something. That kind of looked like either drywall mud where they cleaned off tools, or maybe even some old thin set or something if they've done some tile work. So this looks like this is kind of going around a couple little tight bends there, which is kind of odd. Kind of makes it hard to push. We may have to move over to the other side with all these turns because it keeps making these right and Y's into other lines. Making it a lot of turns can sometimes make it hard to push. So I think I've gone through about 7 turns by now, and I don't think we're outside the house yet. So far, the line itself looks like it's in pretty good shape. Now this is clean out. If you look to the top of the pipe, this is a clean out. It should be just before we exit the house. It's probably under the flooring, but I'll locate it if necessary, just to see if we can get into it, or at least mark it for the buyer. Okay, so we are going outside of the house, and now we're still in white PVC. So based off the age, it's not uncommon to have this stuff used all the way out. Depends on how much the builder did versus the developer. Basically, the developer comes through and puts in the sewer mains and brings the lines up onto the property, and then the builder would, when the house is being built, they would tie into that. Once they got out to that point, they would just tie into the lines. They have to install the mains and stuff like that before the houses are up, so they can put the roads in and stuff like that. So in this case, I am pushing through a bunch of turns, so it's getting pretty difficult. So hopefully we can get all the way out to the main. line looks really, really good. Looks like we're going into a belly, and there's a large ball of grease right there. I'm going to see if I can run some water. This might be right at the main. And a lot of times these things have something like this. You have a belly like this. A lot of times it's at the base of a long drop where it's sunk. And usually you don't have to worry too much about it backing up because it kind of works like a trap. And at this point, the line is dropping at a 20-degree angle, and then when you get down to the bottom here, you should be able to overtake all this easily. But I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to go try to get a locate. I'm going to have to actually push down into that water. And so I can get my camera hopefully flat in that area. And that way I get a better idea of where I'm at. Well, maybe turning and dropping right into the sewer main. So, but we're going to check that. I'm going to pause the video and go get a locate. Okay, so we are just in the front yard, just past the front sidewalk. And so the issue there is that I can't push much further as far as from here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull back, because this had to have snaked through the basement a whole lot, being that I was out about 80 feet, and then we'll go from there. A lot of times in these situations where you have that belly after a long drop, it's not a major issue as far as everyday plumbing issues, because you have such a large drop off that it's kind of like a trap on a fixture. As long as the high end of the line is a lot higher than the low end, and the water will just flow through that trap. Essentially, it'll work like a trap. It'll flow through that and then make its way on with no issue. We did notice that there was a little bit of grease floating on the top. That's something that does happen because all the grease separates from the water and then congeals together, and you have what you saw there. When we first got into there, you'll see that block of grease just floating around. So eventually that can be big enough to cause a blockage or something if it doesn't continue on down the line. And so I don't think that there were any blockages caused, but as we pull back, I'm going to try to show that something we also found was this spot here, which it should break up. Looks like my camera already broke it up just from usage, but that'll make its way out. We did find that there are both the bathrooms upstairs have been renovated, so it's probably where somebody had rinsed their tools off or something in the sink up there, or rinsed something off when they were doing the work on the bathroom. So you can see I moved all the way out, and the good news is up until that point where we saw that belly, the beginning of the belly, that we're going to have to try to get back out to, everything between here and there was in good shape. Didn't see anything that was concerning, but that belly, I know that the sewer main is on the opposite side of the street, and so we still have a pretty long way to go as far as the line is concerned. And so we're hoping by going from another access point in another and the other stack over here, just behind the bathroom, underneath the steps, that this will be a straight shot out. And so we won't have to worry about making all those turns where it obstructs, you know, being able to push all the way out to the main. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this other stack here. There is a large amount of plumber's putty in this. I'm going to pause the video so I can make sure that this is cleaned out and we don't have any issues opening the line. Okay, got the cap open. And I'm going to try to... We're hoping that this will go straight out. You can see now, this is the access point we're going through. This is the stack. You can see we're underneath the steps here. This is the back. So now we're going through this stack here under the steps. Hopefully this goes straight out underneath the bathroom and doesn't make too many turns. I don't understand why they snaked this thing around so drastically. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. They just zigzagged through the basement floor. So here is that clean out before we exited the house. So we are a lot closer. We'll see when we get to the bottom of this turn that we were at about 78 to 80 feet before. When we get to that point again. And here we are dropping off. Here we are. Looks like maybe that is built up, but we should be able to get through this. Now we're at 60 feet. Not sure I'm going to be able to get through this. I don't know what. I'm not sure what my obstruction is. I'm going to try to run some water down here. The pipe could be messed up here. I'm going to let this settle. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to let this settle and see if we can identify what we're hitting here. I'm flat. I'm at the base of that, but we may have a blockage, and that may be why it's holding water. Could be from construction debris. I thought maybe it was a belly, but I'm seeing something that's preventing me from pushing my camera any further. And there's something right in front of us. And so sometimes if you let the water sit long enough, you know, everything will stagnate and drop to the bottom, and then we may get a clear image of what this is. So again, pausing the video, and we're going to try to let this settle a little bit. Alright, so it's hard for me to tell what I'm up against right here. I don't know if it's... I'm going to try to pull back just a hair and hopefully not stir too much of that up, because I'm up against something.
looks like just a turn, but it doesn't want to go through it, and I'm up against maybe another turn, or the pipe is broke. It's really hard for me to tell if there's a blockage or if there is a broken pipe here. Kind of looks like it's a broken pipe, and that there's a little bit of separation here or something. Or if there's maybe a piece of something in the way. It's right at the bottom of this turn, right at the base. I'm going to go ahead and get a locate, and we're going to mark it. I don't think I'm getting past this spot, and so again I'm gonna mark this, and then we'll go from there and see if we can get a better angle. Okay, I'm marked it about, it's about 13 feet deep, which is obviously very deep, and I can't see what this spot is. I really wish I could see what I was up against to see if it is a blockage, and that's what it looks like, a piece of that grease. But for some reason it's not making the turn, and if you see that water level, this stuff right here, it means the water level's probably gotten up to about that point where that little spot is. You know, it's about 59 feet from this clean out under the steps, and it was about 78 feet so from the other clean out. So my last ditch effort here is going to be to get past that point. I'm going to see if I can put a little standoff on the camera. I don't think it's really going to do much good, because it's actually just going to make it bigger. But there's either a blockage there, maybe of some kind of construction debris or something. We saw the grease floating, or the pipe is damaged. And so all I know is I can't get the camera past it. And any normal situation, as far as how far out I am and how many turns I've made, and especially at the base of that, this should have easily made that turn and gone through the base of that drop off that we were at. And so we'll try to go through it. I may try to run some water while we're there, while we're down at that point, just to see if I can get just to see how the water acts going through there, and see if it will see if the water level stays the same, kind of like if it's acting like a trap and just making its way through, just kind of maybe trapping some grease. So I've got a standoff on it that kind of centers. It will center it in the center. It'll center the camera in the line, and so we're going to see if this will help maybe get a better angle on that spot. But we're right here. So 26 feet is where the clean out is, where you exit the house. Again, you may need to locate that just for somebody in case they want to try to want to try to get access to that to make a straighter shot at this and see if they can clean it before it is a catastrophic, before it's listed as some sort of catastrophic issue. are at the base of this. And I'm up against, I thought I could see for a second. I really wish this would, even out and I could see what was going on here, but there's something definitely that's restricting my camera. I'm going to go ahead and run some water in this downstairs bathroom. See if we can witness how it's acting. I do think that the pipe is at least partially collapsed. My battery level is getting low on the camera, so it shouldn't completely stop here soon, but it may, just as a warning on the way back or something, I may have an issue. And here comes the water. But it seems like it's swirling around instead of going out. And hopefully running this clean water will help kind of flush out all the debris floating around, and maybe we can see a little bit. Yep, this looks like a big grease ball. But I can't get past it, and so I don't know if it's because there's a collapse in that area, which very well could be, because a lot of times when you have a big grease ball like this, unless it's construction debris. So I'm going to recommend, at least the first step, I'm going to recommend that it be looked at by a licensed plumber, but I believe I would try to clean it first, either jet it or mechanical clean the grease. Jetting works pretty good on grease, but I'm going to recommend that it be jetted, because that is a grease ball, and it could be that this grease ball is just, blocking the line, or it could be construction debris, and it could be mud from like construction mud or drywall mud, not mud, but thin set or something from tile work that maybe got in there and solidified and blocked the line. At least it looks more like grease. And so I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that the pipe is damaged, because as you can see, this water level is not changing. Going by, as I'm running this water, the water level is not changing. And so that shows me that the water is making it through, but that my camera and or solids are not. So there's definitely something with the line there, and I've tried to get through it in a couple different ways. So you could try to have it cleaned first, but I don't think but my camera will not make it past this point. So I think there is some damage to the pipe. We just cannot 100% identify it due to the due to the backup and the blockage of the grease or mud. It looked like grease to me, and so it's probably been there for a while, and the grease is just congealed together in that area because that's where the water is stagnant. But it is marked in the front yard with a flag and some green paint. It is 13 feet deep, so I'm going to recommend that you get a second opinion by a licensed plumber. Take a look at this and see what they recommend as far as trying to maybe clean it first and see if you can get the water out of there before doing another inspection to try to identify it before it gets fully dug up. But I'm going to locate this spot real quick to make sure that they know where the floor clean out is if they need to get into it. So we're going to pause the video one more time and get a locate. Okay, so there's an access panel on the front wall next to the next to an outlet, and I believe that is where that floor clean out is, or it's another stack for the front, but I don't know of any plumbing that's up there, so I'm assuming that is access to the floor clean out on the ground. So it goes all the way across the basement and then goes all the way back across the front yard, which is why we're out 60 feet. We didn't really go anywhere. So the line goes out if you're facing the house the right side, and it looks like it cuts all the way back across the left side so again, I'm going to recommend that this get looked at by a licensed plumber. The line looked great structurally until we hit that. From this point, it was about the 60 foot mark. It was 59 feet. And then we hit that spot that it's unidentifiable as far as what is actually going on there. The water is making it through, but I believe the pipe is damaged at that point, and it's either causing that belly. It's definitely causing a buildup of grease in that area. And so, like I said, I'm going to recommend a second opinion by a licensed plumber to make an evaluation on kind of where to start if you want to try to clean that first, and then see if you can get a better image of what's going on before you dig it up, because it is about 13 feet deep, and it's a pretty long way down. So again, we only made it. There's probably still 60 feet or 70 feet of pipe past this point, so it's going to have to be re-inspected once this is either evaluated and or repaired or cleaned. But the plumber that does it may be, probably will have a camera to be able to inspect the rest of it once they're able to get through. So unable to proceed past 59 feet from here, or 78 feet from the previous access point, and going to recommend a licensed plumber take an evaluation. So that'll end the inspection at 8105 Vegas Circle in Westchester, Ohio.